Also, Markiplier released another Unis Honest video about like how long it's been or something.
Is it another one of those videos where it's like fucking they communicate through two separate videos?
I don't know honestly. Actually, I only saw Markiplier's one. I don't know if Crank made one yet. I say Crank, but he doesn't even go by Crank Gameplay anymore. So, but I just know that Markiplier released one today. Okay, so he did release one. So maybe it is one where they communicate through it again.
That was such a cool like gimmick that they did.
What is like the shot?
No, like them communicating.
It is. It's really. I really like what I like how even now the legacy of Unis Honest isn't dead and it's been 3 years. Like it really shows dedication to like what it was by both of them. It wasn't just something they did; they still care about it.
Yeah.
What you drinking, Liam?
Um, I'm drinking hot cocoa.
W drink, W drink. Oh God.
You know what else is hot?
What?
California with the wildfires increasing.
God damn it! That's
I thought he
wild.
was gonna say Santiago.
No,
I mean, Nick,
he's not.
you know where I live.
Oh, what the
Do
fuck?
I?
Yeah. And if not, I know where you live.
My snap map's always on until
Except
I start like hardcore dealing drugs. So you'll know.
I'm pretty sure I have your snap map screenshotted like 8 times over.
Oh, jeez.
Because I need to make sure I know where he lives at all time.
Sounds lovely.
He can never escape me.
Yes, I can. I
Prove it.
simply run faster than you.
Oh my god, okay, so do you wanna know what the hardest part about running in sandals is?
What?
I'm a fucking fat ass.
No way.
Do you wanna know what the hardest part about running in running shoes is?
You're a fat ass.
Yeah. God, I told that joke to someone today on when I got online on PlayStation, and I had the entire fucking party just laughing.
Damn.
It's so weird recording in this
You
room.
just sent me a screenshot of a fucking YouTube thumbnail. Alright, let me
Look it up.
Nick A30, I hate N-words.
It's the actual N word though, not hard R.
Oh, from Cumlord.
Nick's listening to a song right now. It's dubious.
It's a what?
It's dubious.
It's dubious.
Yeah.
Bars.
I'm gonna be dead ass. I haven't listened to it and I don't plan on it, so.
It's just the title said like 50 times over.
Damn.
It's
Oh,
not even his voice. It's Cumlord just saying, I hate, I hate, I hate.
oh my god. Alright. So, I'm gonna go put on the hoodie so you and everyone else can peep the staff hoodies.
Look, 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 look. What does it
As
mean?
he walks out,
Mine's gray. Yours is black though, Nick.
very nasty. Bump, bump.
Okay, Santiago. Proposition.
I'm listening.
When she's a 10, but in feet.
Ooh. Okay.
She's a 10 but in
Her name is
feet.
Lady Dimitrescu.
When she's 10 feet. She's 10 feet tall. How about...
This is what it looks like.
I swear fucking God, Anthony, if you kill yourself.
Get one of these eventually, once I have more money.
Are we gonna record or not?
I don't know. It is too hot in my room though. I'm not wearing that for the entire recording session.
Why'd you put it on? Anthony, why do you
Just
have
show it
5
off.
guns?
Are you still playing Fortnite?
Yeah, I planned on playing it the entire discussion.
Damn. Checks
You
out.
do so.
But like
You do
Kanye
you.
said, thank God for titties because they prove I can focus on two things at once.
We'll
As a
see.
man, as a
We'll see.
I don't know. I would
the
have to
way
say
you
I have to
said
agree with
that, Leo,
Nick
the
on
way
this
you
one.
said that, makes me think you're gonna like show me your titties. Like I'm not even like that's not even a joke, but it's like we'll see. It's
We'll
like
see about
you're
that.
gonna roll
We'll
up to my
see.
house. You're gonna drive 6 hours and take your top off. I have a
What?
girlfriend.
It's like, why would I do that if you got a girlfriend?
I'm crying.
Wah wah wah. You know what? Who
Call
else
the
is crying?
ambulance.
You know who else is crying?
Nick just stole my crush.
I was about to say your other one.
Don't worry, Nick. I'll show you my titties.
I'm good. I've already seen them at your birthday party.
Oh yeah, you did. Like how Leo's just spacing out.
Bro,
Well,
if
not really
Africans
spacing
are
out.
really sad and they're always crying, how are they short of water? If they're always crying because they're so sad. Right? What if they just harvest their tears?
Oh my
Drink
god.
them.
Tears are salty though. That would make you more dehydrated.
Filter them. They have fire there, don't they?
I'm leaving this in so everybody can hear
This is
this.
a W idea. Don't even play with me.
No, it's a okay, think about this.
Okay.
How much water do you think somebody needs in a week with no food to survive?
A
Give me
lot.
Okay. So let's say we gather up everybody's tears, okay?
Okay.
We filter them, which leaves us with less water density than we had before. So less water.
Yeah.
You think we have enough water made from tears, so probably half of what we got originally.
No, but it'll help.
Or
If it helps, it helps.
if we're going with the idea of water filtration, just filter the normal fucking water.
Holy
Not
shit!
tears.
I need to land this.
He needs to land this, guys.
I got
He needs
1.1. I got 1.18 million on the drift board.
Homeboy's mid Fortnite game.
He absolutely just needs to land this.
That was a devious call. I hope I don't actually shut them off. If they shut off and it took me forever to turn them back on, I would jump off of my house. Actually, our roof is broken, so all I have to do is climb through the attic.
Yeah, who broke the roof? Alright, I'll probably get that fall from it.
How did I get on there in the first place?
I don't know.
I'm fat. Me when like I've actually lost like 60 pounds since last year.
Where'd that drift board go? The fuck?
Leah, what are you watching?
Not like I'm watching, but The Walking Dead on my Xbox.
I feel like the Xbox part was kind of just added in there. It was extra.
I have 2,000 hours of YouTube on my
Oh,
Switch.
fuck that. I missed a shot.
Okay.
I'm dead.
You're dead?
I'm dead.
When?
Yeah, it says you're dead. Now the cop's gonna wake up. Then he's a cold killer. And then I'm just gonna back all the way straight up till I see a shotgun. And then I'm gonna grab it. And then I'm gonna miss terribly.
What are you talking about?
The Walking Dead.
I haven't watched that show in years.
Yeah, because I dropped the bullet while trying to put the bullet in.
I've been trying to watch Shameless.
You've been watching Shameless?
Yeah, it's actually pretty good.
Okay, tell
Yes.
me the concept of Shameless because I want to know this just so like I know if I should watch it or not.
It's just about this ghetto family who lives a ghetto ass life. It's kind of one of the kids is gay,
Oh, really?
so now you want to watch it because I said that, huh?
Um, well, I just wanted to know.
This is
Are we recording,
Oh,
by the way?
we've been recording for 18 minutes, Nick.
Gotcha.
whoa.
I've been recording since before
What the
Leah was
heck?
even in their room.
I got it. Do you think?
I feel
Hypothetically
like we
speaking.
have
No.
been, yeah.
32 gigabytes right here. Guess what's on it?
Porn.
Yes. Guess what kind?
You can't say that. I'm gonna assume hentai.
You're wrong.
Was it the first option that came to my mind?
Yup. The forbidden
No
topic.
shot. No shot.
No, it's not actually. This is just.
Okay.
This is
The one topic we don't talk
the
about.
forbidden topic. The topic I told you guys you can't talk about or you're automatically off.
Yep.
No, this is just I use this for transferring videos from my laptop to my PlayStation, PlayStation to my laptop.
What type of videos? Where are you storing
Gaming
on your
videos.
PlayStation? Are
Cause
you gaming with
'cause I run a gaming channel.
Oh yeah, that's facts.
Which hasn't been uploaded to in a hot minute actually. Let me see when the last time I uploaded a Socko gaming video
Well,
was.
well, darn.
Alright.
Motherfucker, you could live with the mom.
Socko gaming.
Kendrick Lamar's goaded. Don't even front myself.
Sure. I won't argue that. Even though I won.
Alright.
6 months since my last. Oh no, 1 month.
So since we're on the podcast, I'll put this in. Eminem is getting a Fortnite concert.
No way.
Oh yeah.
I genuinely don't believe that. Well, actually, no, because they added in the whole teen, like the whole rating system. I could.
Bro. Check Twitter.
I'm looking. You know I'm copping the Eminem skin. It's not even a question.
Slim Shady and Fortnite, bro.
Ain't no way somebody's not copying the Slim Shady Fortnite skin.
What if Eminem killed Travis Scott?
That's how the concert starts. Eminem killing Travis Scott confirmed.
Damn.
He's in the finale
Sounds rough.
event.
Sounds rough.
Somehow. This better be worth it.
Who knows?
I'm gonna cry if this is just some stupid ass, like, he appears, like, and he's just like, he's essentially becomes Dwayne The Rock Johnson to Fortnite lore. I will be so mad.
A lot of
But yeah, the last time I posted to my YouTube channel, Soccer Gaming, was a month ago because I was playing through the Cayo Perico heist, and then I never touched it again.
Oh,
I think I
sounds
have footage I need to edit from that.
Northampton 9 years ago. The fuck?
You good? Seems like everyone's a little not good right now.
Oh, I'm fine.
Well, I mean, I'm sick. I'm like I
You're
went
sick.
home early.
You're sick and tired
Yeah.
of all this bullshit.
I'm sick and I'm tired of many things.
For a second,
Especially like
I thought you were about to say, "Well, actually, I'm high." I was like, "Oh."
it's like
I think
no.
he's talking to Leo.
Mm-mm.
Leo's not that kind of person. Nick,
I am.
however,
Shut up.
Knickers.
shut up. Best comeback of all time. Cállate. I hope you're getting your ass kicked right now, Nick.
Oh yeah, 1000% am.
I hope 18 teams just dropped in on you and are all.
I killed one
Why are you shaking like you're playing some racing simulator, bro?
because I'm high.
Of course.
Checks out. Fair point. Can't argue that.
Of course he is.
Have you played OG Fortnite at all, Leo?
Have I played Fortnite? My Fortnite is currently updating.
What level are you?
I have no clue right now. I have to get back in.
Have you even touched the new season?
Yes.
Okay. I was about to say, everybody
Like
has to have at least tried OG Fortnite.
probably like a couple weeks ago.
I was back when it like first came out.
Yeah. That was about it.
I've been running that shit up all day, every day. In fact,
Sounds fun.
after we get off of this call, I'm probably gonna run it back up.
You do so. It's quiet and
It
I don't like it.
it is quiet. I'm wondering why no one's
Yeah.
talking.
Shut up. All right.
It's kind of your
Hear me out.
job to talk.
It is my job to talk. All right, and I underpay myself. Or I underwork myself.
You underwork yourself by mounds. You haven't had to work for 3 weeks. That's not true. You
Yeah.
had to work a week ago. But technically that doesn't count because it didn't make anything.
I didn't have to. I got to.
I am in your skin.
Is that how that works?
No, like literally. I'm in your
Yeah.
skin.
I
Take all
feel
your
him
skin off
wriggling.
now. Get me out of here. Take all your skin off. Notice how this room is white. It's because it's your skin. I'm a clown.
Oh,
You're not a clown. Your ass is fucking Pennywise.
Pennywise is a clown.
Yeah. I mean, is he really? He's a demon that takes the form of a clown.
Yeah, that's a clown. All clowns are just demons who take the form of a clown.
Every person is the demon that takes form of a person.
Exactly.
Also, I won
I mean,
that
that's
game. That's why I
true.
wasn't being quiet.
Oh, cool.
Episode 5 of Asking Monster Energy for a sponsorship. All right?
I feel like it's been more than 5 at this point. We've been doing it since the beginning of the
Monster
season.
Every single
Yeah.
podcast. If you can go back, I have been drinking one of these fuckers. All right? These are my life. I drink like 2 a day, maybe 3 if I need to work, right? Please pay me. I will suck corporate balls.
That's a great way to advertise us to Monster.
Yeah. All right.
I
That
will
was
suck
very
company
be?
balls.
What would this podcast be without me? It would just be you talking with Leo watching.
I will.
And who brought me here? Monster.
I'll
So,
be fair though.
Monster.
I'll be fair though. When me and Leo did an episode together, it wasn't bad.
It was
Okay.
pretty much all talking the whole entire time.
It was only
So
me.
when you have to. So
Well, it wasn't. It was both of us
if
talking.
the corporate dicks at Red Bull decide to come and get my ass for sponsoring Monster, would you two be okay without me?
Um, for like at least an
We
episode.
could probably manage.
At least an episode.
Santiago, you wouldn't be fine without me. You love me.
Nick, you know the exact reason I would be.
What?
If you really don't know off
What?
the top of your head, check some chat
What's the
logs.
reason? What's the reason?
Check some Snapchat chat logs if you really don't know. Or maybe it's
What have
Discord. I don't remember.
what have I done?
Literally has nothing to do with you.
I would like a recap.
No. Figure it out.
No, you're not my mother. You can't do this to me.
Well, I just did.
Okay, I'll leave. All right, I'm playing Fortnite. I could go back and talk with Henry and Anthony.
Homeboy, you've left every episode. Literally.
Yeah, because it's
Since
funny
the
as shit.
beginning. Since episode 3, you've left at least for a second on each episode.
Yeah.
A second.
All right.
You'll just prove that.
Now go. I want you to check your viewer analytics. All right. When was viewer attention the highest? All right, when I left and then came back.
Okay, sure. I do want to point out though, we started off the season strong. Episode 1 of the season had 46 views. And then none of our other videos have managed to break 20 views since the season started.
Sorry, my view bot isn't working.
Really?
Give me a sec.
I don't know why like episode 1 of season 2 popped off crazy, and it was only 32 minutes. That's probably why actually. We went from a 32-minute, but that still doesn't make sense though, because the first ever episode had 65 views, and that was an hour and 27. Almost triple.
It's just like start of the season vibes.
Yeah.
But all the videos are bangers, and to the less than
Update
20
so many
people that
things.
watch this, please promote it to your friends.
On the John.
LOL.
We need LOL. We need all of it that we can get. Are you guys ready to start season 3 off after this episode?
Yup.
Oh, I couldn't even imagine.
I'm also ready for my Christmas break.
Oh yeah, you're gonna get you get a month and a half Christmas break from recording podcast episodes. But we will be discussing them. So this is
No.
no.
I want to go hibernate.
And this is also a warning for the less than 20 people who end up watching this episode. We will be taking a break until sometime after New Year's. We should be back up in January, but we will be taking these next 2 months off. Next month and a half, I should say, or like a month and a week.
Mm-hmm.
But we will be back,
Yeah.
and we will be starting stronger than ever. Season 3. I will be paying these
With,
guys
like,
for their
the same
time
people.
finally.
Yeah.
Not much. You'll be paid like $5 an hour, but
Now I know what it's like to be a Chinese sweatshop worker. Yeah.
so I mean that incentivizes you guys though. If you can sit down and make a 3-hour long episode, you get 15 minutes. You get $15.
15 minutes with
15 minutes,
Santiago, what I
guys.
would do for that.
You get 15, guys.
But yeah, I will start paying you guys $5 an hour, and then when I can support it, more than that.
Like, if you guys did not just hear, like, not so long ago, when, like, I was out of my kitchen, like, I legit, like, I had to explain to my dad who I was on call with, because he was, like, legit, like, staring at my phone.
I heard that. He was
Yeah.
so confused. And you told him the name of the podcast was Teenage Prodigy.
Oh, yeah, I did.
That had me.
Because That was like the first thing that like came in my mind was Teenage Prodigy instead of like the
It's
actual
because I'm
name of the
so cool.
podcast.
Not Teenage Productions,
Exactly.
not Teenage Podcast, Teenage Prodigy.
That was like the first thing I said too. And like I was just
Hey,
like, well,
Ma,
it
look,
could
I'm in
be.
Teenage Prodigy.
Well, I still said podcast, but like
Oh yeah.
no, I even told him where to find it.
Yeah, he said on Spotify. If he goes and looks up
The
Teenage
fucking
Prodigy on Spotify, I don't think he's gonna approve of you hanging out with me anymore.
why?
Cause I'm Teenage Prodigy.
Oh, no, he knows who you are. He knows you're from camp.
Yeah, but does he know that I don't make very camp-friendly music?
He
I'm
doesn't really
built
listen to
different, no
music.
dark tar.
Hey, okay,
He doesn't really listen to
okay,
music,
okay.
so
You know what we can do, Nick? I know you've heard it, but Leo, have you heard Shrug yet?
no.
This is the perfect. This is the perfect opportunity for me to promote my
Listen
song
to
and play it on the podcast. It
I
wouldn't
think
be.
not
so.
don't
It would not be the first time we've done it.
It would not.
So we can definitely do
It'd be
that.
like the third time.
It would be.
It'd be like the third time doing that.
Because I know we did it. We did it not in episode 1, but we did it in episode 2, and then we did it again in episode 4.
And we did it. Yeah.
So this would make 3. So you know what that means.
It's a trend.
Yeah, look me in the eyes. Tell me you don't like what you see. Teenage Prodigy. Now let's take a second, call me your king. But could you reckon that this shit is what I would bring? Call it bedtime, this get checking, but I'm a hinge, I got a wing. Don't cry, just pretend it hoodie, you quietly ring. Corner defend shit, cause I'm here to reap. Get away on your ship, or I'll
simply
put you
one of
to
his
sleep.
best pieces
Throw
of
down Steve
work
Ripper,
ever.
look like FIFA creep. Wait for it.
Flex in the whip,
Absolute
mommy, daddy got that
masterpiece
cheek.
of a line coming up. Because do you know what I am?
What are you?
I am.
I'm the holy guacamole. You're too
Holy
busy.
shit.
I think you
Put in the Hall of Fame.
Surely, we know you'll leave. Wait, hey, Velly? How fast think I can run it? Cause I plan on pumping 200 cross run over some bridge. You can't handle me without the hinge. Drop off fucking bitch. How you be fucking cringe? How about you make a bit of change so I can get a little bit of range? Cause I'm out of the range. I got you everywhere displaced. Now you to look me in the face or let your life go to waste.
Yo.
Okay, I'll calm it down, but I said what I said, and I'd say it again. Touch my shoulder, then we'll fight. Please don't rub off your white pussy trying to ruin my night. But my shoulders got the shrug, I'll be alright. But you know I'd be quite the sight. A guy short like you.
There's not enough gun bars now that I'm re-listening to it.
Yeah.
Alright, you could just. I'll let the Nina blow. I ain't talking about weapons because there's a girl at the school named Nina.
Running and slipping, Charlie Brown better run. I'm coming like a hound, cause I got the beat. Yeah, they'll sound easy. I'll get you running around. In the end, you won't be found. In your mad, I'm the one crown. And I'm not playing with you.
You sound like.
You're a fuck.
You sound like. What the fuck is your name? You sound like the villain from
You
Portal.
never held a tool.
Damn it.
Let me take you to school, cause in this world, I rule. Your hatred is my fuel. Fucking with a teenage prodigy, you must want a lobotomy. Or you wanna see if I'm popping heat. Oh wait, who, me? I take one big drink, then I put you down and stink you and pin you on itchy. Till when you grow up, you'll be a white beat. No, I promise you, I don't need her. She was talking shit on me too, guess I'm a leader. Cause you must care a lot, true fear. Lies about me, automating the dealer. Cause you're so big.
Dude, what's that 1 trillion BPM?
Compensating must be hard.
One
in
second.
your teen years. But I knew it wasn't 10 meters. You probably used Molly. I say free her. Cause nobody stays with you freely. They roll out calling Healy. I know this
Don't
shit
close the
hurts
tab. What's.
your feelings.
All right. Let's get opinions now. We can hear your teammates now, Nick.
Dude, what?
We can hear your teammates. I could hear them.
My teammates aren't talking.
Well, then I don't know who I was just listening to. Anyways, opinions.
I
Again,
thought it was pretty good.
yeah, it is some of your best work, but could use some more gun bars.
Did I really even make any gun bars in there?
No.
That's the new. Yeah, I was about to say. You say more. You should have just said could use gun bars.
1 is more than 0? The fuck?
Well, I mean, yeah, but the term more actually not signifies, but it creates the sense that there's already some there. Because while 1 is more
Yeah.
than 0, 0 can technically be more than 0, whereas 1 can't be more than 1.
0 can. Did you just say that 0 is more
How
than
did you
0?
just? How did you just word
Whoa,
that?
you're leaking documents. You're still sharing your screen.
What am I doing?
You're still sharing your screen on Discord.
Oh, I am.
Yes, you are.
Whoops. I would have never noticed that if someone didn't say anything.
You cut that out.
I'll leave it in. I'm willing to take that L.
How can 0 be more than 0? Please explain this to me.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So-
How can 0 be more than 0?
Since 0 is undefinable, 0 is nothing, you can't define nothing as being there. You can't say that nothing is less or more than itself.
I think you're trying to use that some infinities are bigger than others, and you're just trying to apply that to 0. 0 always equals 0.
0
Alright,
does
can you
always
give
equal
me-
0.
So how can 0 be more than 0?
That's like saying, well, okay. Okay, first let's say that. Do you believe that 0.9 repeating equals 1?
I mean,
Go with
technically
yeah.
rounding that.
We'll go with yes. 0.9 repeated.
So I want to explain to everybody who's watching right now. Nick just left. He probably isn't coming back. But I do want to explain the whole point of that. It was to prove that we can make a podcast over an hour and a half long without anybody really mentioning the time at all. Now Leo did fall asleep, but I would say I proved it was possible.
Is equal to 1.
Okay, then 0 can be greater than 0.
No, but there's still quantifiable stuff there.
There is a quantifiable 0. And for 0 to be
Alright.
greater than 0, it has to be
0
quantifiable.
is 0. 0.9 repeating is greater than 0 because there is something you can quantify there. That is 3/3.
So okay, so the way you find that 0 is bigger than 0 is you take 0.0 repeating with a 1 at the end. It is still undefiably 0, but it is greater than 0.
You're saying, all right, 0.0 with the overhead hash for repeating, right? That's what you're saying.
Mhm.
With a 1 at the end.
Yes.
That
It's greater
does not
than just
exist
flat
in
0.
math. That does not exist in math.
Yes, it does.
You cannot put something after infinity. You cannot put any numbers after a hash. You can put more than one numbers in a hash. All right, if you have, was it 11 divided by 4, or it's 4 divided by 11, that is multiple numbers under a hash because they repeat in sequence to each other. But find me one example in math where there is a number, a whole number, a decimal with a hash over it, and then another number. Find me one example, I'll believe your argument.
All right, let me find an example then. Hmm. Did Leo fall asleep?
I don't think there is one.
Did who?
It looked like you fell asleep for a second.
I thought 0 is neither greater than or less than itself.
Exactly. 0 is a value of nothingness. Therefore, 0 being greater than 0 would imply that there is a something.
But there's never nothing.
Well,
I mean,
because
I guess we're
negative
getting into
integers.
we're getting
How many
into
bitches do you get?
more than
0.
none. That's not true. More than none.
0 is only greater than every negative integer.
Yeah.
It's not. 0 is not less than 0. It's just greater than the negatives.
You're right. 0 is
Yeah.
not less than 0.
0 is also
0
not
can
greater
be
than 0.
0 can be greater than 0.
You should take the bait.
I should
It's
take
like this right here, high level bullshit.
prove it. Prove me wrong. You know what? That's a good.
I already have.
No, you haven't. You haven't proved me wrong by asking me for an example. That's not proving me wrong.
No. Me proving you wrong. My hands are up here. 0 cannot be greater than 0 because of the fact that 0 is a value, a constant value of nothingness. All right? Your argument was you can have 0.0 repeating with a 1 after it. Right? That does not exist in math. It's just straight up does not exist in math. All right? If you have a hash that is signifying the end of the number to the quantifiable state, all right, there are still numbers after with a hash mark, but they're just repeating. That is implied. To have a number that is not hash after the hash would imply that there would be something after infinity, which simply does not exist.
But some infinities are bigger than others,
Yeah,
which is
some
exact.
infinities are.
I mean, that's exactly the argument I need to make my point.
No, some infinities are bigger than others. The amount of real numbers between 0 and 1 is bigger than the amount of whole numbers. That is a true statement, right? But
Which means if
there is still nothing that you can put after each of those infinities.
okay, 0. When I say 0.0 repeating, I mean 0 point and then a practically undefinable amount of zeros, a near infinite amount of zeros, and then a 1. That is still undefiably 0, but there's still a 0.1. So it is still, by definition, greater than flat 0. I mean, you can't have 0.0 and a couple trillion zeros, a 1, and then say, oh, I have a lot more than you do, someone who has nothing. Because you have nothing still. You can't quantify that little amount of something to say you have something. It's still 0, but it's greater.
No, but you can't quantify that. You would have to write down all of those zeros because a hash.
But there are ways to write those big numbers without writing down all the zeros.
You want to use scientific notation.
It's not necessarily a repeating symbol, but you get the point.
I don't know. Half of this just made me confused.
Yeah,
I'm not
Santiago's
great with
argument.
math.
So this argument makes 0 sense.
Essentially what I'm saying is when you say there could be more of something, you are essentially implying that it was already there.
I want you to take a step back real quick and think about your statement. 0 can be bigger than 0.
Yeah, and I kind of proved it.
No, you
Yes.
did not. You were. This is like the flat Earth argument. All right, you were.
I mean, if you're doing a decimal and you need to round and it's 0.9, technically it equals 1.
and if you're rounding a decimal and it is 0 point and then a couple trillion zeros and then a 1 at the end, you're going to round it to 0, but it is still bigger than 0.
Because you're rounding.
No, I know. I was just using
If you're
Leo's example.
No, but if your
Yeah, I said
argument
0
hinges
point
on
in
the fact
that.
that there are trillions of zeros and then a 1, but then you just round it to 0, but you know that the 1 is still there, that doesn't make sense because you're just putting the 0 there with no further context. You are rounding down, but then still using the number that you got rid of.
Except I'm not rounding it. I'm not.
Okay, hold on.
So, okay,
Did you
if
guys
you're not
figure-
rounding it, if you're not rounding it, right? If you're not rounding, I'm done playing Fortnite. I need to.
Homeboy needs to get into math mode.
Okay. Okay. If you have 0 trillion zeros, then a 1, right? How are you going to quantify that something can be nothing but also something? 0 is nothing.
Okay. So to explain this is gonna be a fun episode for people to watch. Everyone's really gonna love this section.
Because I've been arguing while playing Fortnite.
So
I don't remember what I've said, but I know what I've been saying is right.
and I know what I've been saying is right.
All right.
So to really understand this, we have to get down to the molecular idea of how math works. So this is we're really outside of math and into
The
science.
molecular of how math works.
Yes, because there's
That's a great term for math being completely theoretical, but okay.
what? But that's saying that molecular structure is theoretical.
No, math is not molecular.
Yes, math goes
Math
down.
is theor.
Math works everywhere. But to understand what
Mhm.
I'm trying to explain, we have to get down to a molecular level.
All right, we'll let that slide. Continue.
So you have a couple trillion molecules. How big do you want
Mhm.
these molecules to be? Okay, let's let you make that. Let's let you decide this. Because molecules do have a few different sizes they can come in. What do you want?
Molecules. Why does it have to be? Why does it have to be molecular?
Okay, you know what? Fine. Let's explain this in really simple terms. Okay.
All right, centimeters.
Centimeter. Let's say you have $1 trillion.
Okay.
Now, we're gonna say $1 trillion is equal to 1.
Okay.
Now, what we're gonna say I have is $1. Now, if $1 trillion is equal to 1, and I have $1 in decimal, how much money do I? How much do I have?
$1.
No. We're not talking about money. We're not talking about money value. We're talking about in terms of this example. You have $1 trillion. I have $1. Your value equals 1. So my value is 0 point, quite a bit of zeros, and then a 1. All right?
Yeah.
You can quantify the fact that I have $1 because I have $1. And you can
Yeah.
quantify the fact that you have a couple $1 trillion.
Yeah.
Because you have a couple $1 trillion. Well, $8
Yeah.
trillion. Okay?
Yeah.
So I don't have 0. But compared to what you have, so in comparison, I practically have 0. Because
practically doesn't mean shit in math.
That's not true, but okay. Because what we're speaking with is we're speaking with values.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? The value of my dollar is less than 1 because the value of your trillion is equal to 1.
Is 1. Yeah.
So it's a shit ton of zeros and then a 1. Okay?
But there's still more.
But it is still more than 0. So if I had $0, you wouldn't say you need more money. You would say you would need some money. You wouldn't say, oh, you need more money. You have $0. You would say you need some.
What does Andrew Tate say to poor people?
What does who?
What does Andrew Tate say to poor people? He says,
He
you
probably
need
tells
more
them
money.
he probably tells them to get more money and get a house.
Get more money. get more money, or when he knows damn well they have no money.
Oh yeah.
All right, motherfuckers are in debt. They are in the negatives. They are less than zero, and entertains like get more money.
Leo is falling asleep. We are
Okay,
putting Leo to sleep right now.
more and some,
Not really sleeping.
more and
I'm
some
just
in this
really
type
tired.
of English can be used interchangeably. All
No.
right, you need to get some money, as in a value. Like you need to get some. What can I use as a fucking value?
Okay. If I were to say you need to have some money,
Yeah.
that is implying you have no money, right?
No.
Yes or no?
No.
Then why did
You're
you
going
shake your head?
you're going to a festival, right? You have money. You are in your house. You have money, and your friend texts you, "Hey, you need some money. You just need some money for like concessions and entry fee, right?" You still have money, but he's saying you need some money.
Yeah, he's saying you need to have some money in direct relation to going to the fair.
Yeah, an indirect relation, $1 is still more than zero. $0 is zero, and $1 is more than zero. But even in relation
But in relation to it,
to my $1 trillion,
$1 isn't some. $1 is a singular.
you can't use a big scale like $1 trillion to prove that one is basically zero.
Yes. Okay, fine. Let's say you have 1 trillion apples, and I have an apple.
That doesn't change anything, all right? That's like, how much do you make at Culver's per
I don't
hour?
know, like 14.
$14 an hour. That is roughly, let's round up to 30K a year. That is enough to live off of. Okay, so say you're doing well. Let's just say you're doing well. Jeffrey Bezos, head owner of Amazon,
I know who Jeffrey Bezos.
multi-billionaire, he is also doing well. Okay, you don't need a big scale to define doing well. You don't need a big scale to prove molecular scales because scales change a lot. I don't understand how zero can be more than zero because your whole argument is using a big scale and then going really, really tiny and then just flipping.
Okay. Here's a better way to explain this. Let's say we have a
Okay.
point system. Okay?
All right.
Let's say we have a point system. And
All right.
as you progress towards your point, you don't get a full point, but your point goes up with each tiny increment of progress. So let's say your goal is to walk 100 million steps in a year.
Okay.
Not necessarily walk, but make 100 million steps in a year.
All right.
Let's say you have completed this goal, whereas
All right.
I have
A
made
fat
like
ass.
10 steps this year.
It's November. How the fuck have you walked 10 steps?
No, this is like, let's say this is
Theoretical. I know. All right. Continue. You have done 10 steps of $1 trillion in a year.
Yeah.
Right?
Once again, since the score is progressing in increments, so it's not like my score is 0. I haven't done nothing.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
made 10 steps.
Which is so molecularly small compared to the overall goal. But progress, as you have said, is still progress. You have made progress, which means that your 10 steps can be quantified towards the whole goal.
It can be
but no
quantified.
progress is less than 10 steps. 0 is less than 10.
You're right, but 0 can also be quantified. If I've never taken a step this year, it is quantified that I've never put my foot on the ground and then move forward with my other foot. That is quantifiable. So because they are both quantifiable numbers, I guess using money was a really bad, or objects was a really bad one to do, because once there's something that's not there, that's not quantifiable. When it is there, it is. It's hard to quantify something that doesn't exist. But here we have, you can quantify number of steps compared to not having walked at all, which I don't know what kind of scooter I've been getting around on school to and everything, but besides the point. It's all theoretical.
Mhm.
I have taken 10 steps in comparison to our 100 trillion or whatever I said.
Yeah.
It is comparatively basically 0. Right?
Basically,
If you look
doesn't
at
mean
this number,
shit in
if you look at this number, you're going to think, oh, that's 0. Okay? Because
okay.
in relation to any other number, it is 0 more than any other number. Any whole number.
Okay.
So you're not going to sit there and read all the zeros, and so you're going to look at that and be like, that's 0. But it's not a flat 0. You know, oh, well, it's not a flat 0. It's just 0. You've made 0% progress. 0 bigger than 0.
No, but there's still a value. You were rounding again.
I'm not rounding.
You literally just said, "Oh, you're not gonna read all those zeros," so someone's gonna look at it and say, "Oh yeah, that's 0% done."
But look, I'm explaining it in a simple way because I'm not trying to get into the super nitty gritty of how it would work on our
I
podcast.
think we need to get into the nitty gritty because I think you're talking a load of shit.
You really, we put Leo to sleep with our talk.
No, because
look at Leo. Look at Leo zonked out right now.
You're here, right? I want you come back here to a viewer perspective, right? 0 is sometimes bigger than 0.
Mm-hmm.
How? Because here's the argument that I've heard. Let's get a recap.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to walk 1,000,000 steps in a year. I have done that. You haven't. You have walked 10 steps in a year. That means that you have done 0.1001. That means, without rounding, which you say you haven't, that is 0.1201%. Now, you could use scientific notation to do 1 times 10 minus 10 to the negative 12th. Okay, you could do that. 1 times 10 to the negative 12% of this goal complete. You cannot say 0 because that would be diminishing the 10 steps prior that you've taken to charge your electric scooter to get around. Okay, you is not basically doesn't mean anything. Basically, you can't use
when I say
basically,
I mean quantifiably.
What?
Because essentially, they could, in a math sense, if you say basically, you don't ever mean the word basically because there's no basically in math. The closest there is to a basically in math is quantifiably.
I'm gonna watch this. Look at my screen.
Or perhaps my English is shit, and when I think quanto, I think how many.
No, you're good on your English. I'm probably hella quiet. You're good on your English. Quantifiably is, yeah, you're quantifying things, but like when you say quantifiably 0, when it was 0.
It's
0.1001.
You're right.
You don't quantify that 0. You quantify it as 0.1001.
You're right. There is a direct value, but then there's also an indirect value. The indirect value would be 0.
How is it an indirect value? That's rounding.
No. Rounding is rounding. The indirect value is the value in relation. Because with the what's it called? Not scenario. The
You always round up.
You don't always round up because 0.00000000000001 will not be rounded up to 1.
When your computer is updating, as soon as it ticks over 72, it says 73% done. That's why you spend some time at 100%. You are going up and pushing the bar.
But the difference is you can't round up with such small scale. The computer waits till it's at 0.000001. 5 zeros. A very easily quantifiable amount of zeros.
No, did you see that pass?
No, you are not about to IT me. The computer doesn't wait for an easily quantifiable. It can quantify
No, it can,
very
but
small.
But it waits until
Why?
It waits until it's at least a little bit after the percentage it sets it's at, and then it goes.
Why can the percentage? Does the computer think, oh, it might go back down? We might have missed a file. No, computers don't make mistakes.
That's also not. Computers make mistakes all the time, and computer progress bars actually do go up and down quite often. Smooth progress bars don't exist, and computers make mistakes.
Well, yeah,
and progress bars go up and down.
because the computer cannot estimate how big files are, which is human error. But I digress. As soon as the thing ticks over, the reason smooth progress bars don't exist is because files are different sizes. All right, the opening couple files can be very small, but can set up what the really big files at 30-40-ish% is. That's why progress bars move slower, because it's unpacking different sizes of files.
Trust me, I know all this.
And the computer just looks at 16 files and divides the file size evenly across the progress bar, right? This is the progress bar, 16 individual little chunks here, one for each file. This first file right here can be very small. It can be just a couple, it can be the title screen for your game, right? And then here, this is where you deal with the building system. Like we're talking about Fortnite, right? All right, this is the building system. Now, the building system obviously is extremely complex. You have to deal with grid work, where to place the builds. You have to deal with what materials, what health, how fast it builds, all that stuff. So this file is going to take a lot more than just loading in the title screen. But as soon as the computer gets to the title screen, or as soon as the computer gets to the building section, it's going from 40 to 41. Now that 0.1 of starting to unload the building files is going to take longer. Yes, in the whole grand scheme of things, in proportion, but it's still a quantifiable amount. We have scientific notation for these small ass numbers, right? So if it's 0, it's 0. I have 0 monster cans. I have 1 monster can now. But in relation to the trillions of monster cans around the world, some would say I still have a monster can, because I do. Does that make sense?
No, you make sense. I'm not acting like you don't. You're just acting like I don't, which is the issue. Because both of our arguments can work exist in the same world.
Your argument that 0 can be bigger than 0 cannot work, because 0 is a constant value of nothingness. Now, some people will use nothing as a kind of placeholder, because in space, people will say, oh, there's the vast nothingness of space, when there is 87% dark matter. Alright? People say nothing even though there is something, but when you're taking it down to your argument, nothing is always equal to nothing.
Nothing is always equal to nothing. I'm not talking about nothing directly. I'm talking about the number 0.
What did you... 0 is a placeholder for nothing.
As I said,
What's 8 divided by... What is 8 times 0?
0.
Okay, how do you quantify... if you were going to put 8 times 0 in an array, right? 8 rows of 0 columns. That means there's 0. How are you going to quantify 0 as being more than 0? How are you going to have 0.01
anything
column?
times 0 or divided by... Well, okay, dividing by 0 is not even possible.
We'll just use that. We'll just use the placeholder 0 for dividing by 0.
Okay, yeah. Right. So if you were to take anything times 0 or divided by 0, it would always be in the same spot on 0. It would be the absolute nothingness value.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we're talking about the number 0, though, not the value. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, the number 0 can be used in relation to a lot of things. It can be used in relation to objects, which is the really biggest argument against my point. But as we've learned in math, just because something isn't true in one spot doesn't mean it's not true anywhere. Therefore, it is true sometimes. With physical objects, my argument holds nothing, because you can't have such a small fraction of something that it's unquantifiable, right? Can we agree on that?
I just did a quick Google search, and 5 out of 5 of the first websites and a YouTube video from a scholar says 0 is neither greater than or less than itself. 0 in your argument is nothing. There is nothing. It's anonymous. But if you want 0 to be greater than 0, you have to add an atom. You have to add a molecule, which means it becomes something.
Once again, as I said, that's physical stuff. When if you use my argument with the idea of a goal system, with points or whatever, however you want to,
Yeah,
it works there. As I said, with physical objects, it won't work because you can't have nothing and then something.
how does it work with point systems?
I explained this like 20 minutes ago.
I know you did, but it didn't make any sense. Alright, here's what you said. Have to walk 1,000,000 steps in a year. I've done that, your fat ass hasn't. You've walked 10. Okay? Those 10 steps are
Greater than 0.
still greater than 0. Right?
But in relation to talking about the idea of what the scores are, of how high the score points can get, and what equals 100%, we're at 0%. We're at a quantifiable number. We're at 0%, but we are still at a quantifiable position that is greater than 0, but it still comes down to 0 in relation to the goal.
Because you're rounded.
But it's still 0 in relation to the goal.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It is 1 times
Oh my god,
0.
my voice.
It is 1 times 0 is 1 times 10 to the negative 12th power in relation. But that is still a quantifiable number. Saying that this inconceivable amount towards the goal is quantifiably 0 is false, because there is something. There are 10 steps that have been taken. All right, there's a single line on the thermometer of the church goal to raise $500,000 for a fountain. What did you just eat?
Mint chocolate. It was one.
Valid. My point, even if there's a million, a billion, a trillion, quadrillion, sextillion, 10 steps is still 10 steps. If it's 100 steps, that's 10%, which is greater than 0. If it's quadrillion, it is 1 times 10 to the negative 16th power percent. But that is still something. To call that nothing would just be diminishing it. It would be like taking a quarter that you found on the floor and saying, oh, that won't buy me anything right now, and just tossing it away. If you were to save every quarter you got over the span of your lifetime,
You'd have quite
from
a bit
like
of
when
money.
you were 8, yeah, you'd have quite a bit of money. You'd have like $500 for all the spare change you found. You'd have like
Right, it adds up.
$500.
I'm not arguing
Mhm.
with you on the fact that it adds up, and I'm not arguing with you on the fact that it doesn't have a quantifiable identity. The only part of our arguments that are contradictory is literally the base idea of it, that 0 can't be greater than 0. Other than that,
Yeah.
we are on the same page.
Yeah, we're taking evidence and getting different conclusions, which makes 0 sense, because one of us is just completely overlooking a fact, and I don't think I'm overlooking a fact. I think
No.
you are just taking how. Explain to me one more time. In a
he
progress
asks for
bar.
the 5th time.
In a progress bar.
When you use the
How
your
is
phone as okay.
how is this much. How's this much? 0.
That was way more than 0. I mean, looking at it, but I understand what you're
No,
saying.
just-
I understand
yeah.
what you're saying. Okay. So the way it works is we're gonna use your direct example of a progress bar, okay?
All right.
When you look at a progress bar, it generally gives you one of two formats, or both of them at the same time, right?
A bar getting filled up and a percentage.
Well, but at the top it generally says one of two things: either a percentage, or it says blank of blank. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we're looking at blank of blank, then yes, the number will always be quantifiable in relation to the other. But if we're looking at a progress bar, which I'm assuming is the one, I mean, a percentage, which is I'm assuming the one most people think of when they think of a progress bar, anyways, because it's the most common.
Because is taking 16,000 files and compressing it into 100%.
Mhm.
This is your argument. The computer, right, is like an employee. It sees blank and it displays something else. It is rounding. Okay, the computer is rounding. You cannot take 16,000 files and every file equals a percent. Right? So that means the files, until it gets to 200 files or something, it's going to display 0. Because it isn't going to say, oh, one file's done. Let me completely get rid of the percentages and just add a trillion zeros that the monitor cannot display. Okay, it's like when you kill Sans in Undertale, the screen just fills with 9s, right? It's not going to do that. It's just going to say 0 because the computer is rounding. Alright, you're saying proportions, alright, is still directly proportionate. The computer's just rounding to save some time.
Okay. Do you have more, or is it my turn?
It's your turn.
Okay. I can never tell.
That makes sense.
So my direct argument, what we're looking at is a stalemate. But I have a trick up my sleeve. I don't have any paper. Never mind. I don't have a trick up my sleeve. So over here.
Yeah, we're black.
Over here, I have roughly, I think 250 Magic the Gathering cards.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have scissors, thank God, because I think I would have done this without thinking if I did. Here I have roughly 250 Magic the Gathering cards.
Magic cards. Alright.
Here I have one Magic the Gathering card.
Okay. That looks like Forest.
Nope, it's Hydra.
Hydra.
So, with this one card, what can I do? Not mana. It is a creature card.
Mm-hmm. You can summon it.
I don't have the mana. This card is useless. It is nothing.
Nothing.
Okay.
Were you about to cut it if you had scissors?
I was. Here I have a rare Japanese card. That's worth
Okay, please don't flick that one. Like you did the Hydra.
Here I have, I'm pretty sure this one I last checked was like $2,000.
Put in a fucking sleeve, you dumb bitch. I'll get you a sleeve. Right? Do you want one of these? Do you want a protector?
I'm good.
What the fuck do you mean you're good? You just have that lying around? You're hurting me. You whore.
This card, you know what? This wasn't even the comparison I was going for, but you know what? This works.
Okay.
This card is worth $2,000. Right? You know what I can do with this card?
Bitch.
You know what I can do with this
Oh
card?
shit, nothing.
I can sell it for $2,000, maybe a little less because one of the corners is tiny bit bent.
Okay, so like $400 less. But
Yeah.
continue.
Do you know what I can do with this card?
Oh shit,
I
nothing.
can't even play this damn card. I can't sell it. No one's gonna buy it. It comes in most starter packs. Like, I can't do anything with this card. But
Okay.
quantifiably, I still have a card. Technically, I mean, I'm holding a card right now. I have a card, but it does
Yeah.
dog shit nothing. It is worth nothing.
So you're saying
Here I have a card that is worth $2,000 in theory.
We're gonna lose to
This
Uh-huh.
card, I can't play it right now.
He's
I
actually
couldn't
got
play it
that.
anyways. I wouldn't know what it does.
okay.
But I can sell it.
So you're saying this thing that does dog shit nothing
What?
is useless. Okay, you're saying
On its
that
own.
is zero.
On its own, it's useless. But
OT.
that's not a. I should have
Okay.
organized the way I was gonna pull from my deck before.
Just a mana card. If you have a blue mana card,
I have
you'll
a
be able to send that.
I have a land card right here.
All right,
Right.
good enough.
Now I can play this card. Now this card is worth something when it is with another, right? But I still have
Yeah.
250 cards here that bring the deck together. These
Yeah.
two cards aren't going to win a game. These two cards on their own are worthless. Even if
Unless you play against Leo.
I
All right,
Fair
if you
point.
go up to like David or something and say, "Hey, let's play Magic the Gathering," I'm pretty sure those two cards will win because he doesn't know how to play the game.
Okay, in a normal match,
In a normal match against someone you find at a hotel that has a deck on them, your ass is gonna get whipped.
because this is two
Right.
cards. I have
Mhm.
250 cards. Technically, the max is 50 in a deck, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it 50 or 60?
Pokemon is 60, so I'd assume it's either 60.
But I have a deck of 250 cards. I know I can only have 50 of them, but that's besides the point.
All right.
Even in a deck of 50, these two cards mean dog shit nothing on their own.
That's actually so gay.
Mhm.
Because I won't.
That's why they're with a deck of 48 other cards.
'Cause even when I start the game, I draw my 5 cards that I start with.
Yep.
These 5 cards together, they are worth a lot more than just these two cards.
Because we have the $2,000 Japanese card in that bitch.
No, sadly not. Playing that card would be useless. The fuck does it do? It doesn't even
Okay.
doesn't even have a numerical value on it anywhere.
That doesn't. What does that prove?
So my original argument would have probably proved a lot more here, but then we got into like a lot more than I was thinking we were going to.
Okay.
My
What
original
is your original
argument with these cards. Let me,
Those two original cards.
nope, this card wasn't even part of it. This just so happened to be second in the deck when I pulled it.
We got the full squad this time.
Mhm.
Deck of 249 cards now because I got rid of that rear card.
Yeah.
Here I have my Hydra's Growth card. Let's say I have a piece of scissors. Technically, this Hydra's Growth card does have some form of value to it, even if that
Mhm.
value is
Dog
essentially
shit nothing right now.
is dog shit nothing right now because it has no mana to be played. We're not even in a match, and I can't sell it.
Got it.
But technically, it is not nothing.
Yeah, it is something.
Quantifiably, though, you'd look at it as nothing. Now, I don't have scissors, thank God, because as I said, I probably would have just cut this card in half without thinking if I did. So yeah, cut the card in half.
Yeah, because I always get
Now you know what the
second.
card is worth? Dog shit nothing.
We always
no
get
matter
second.
what.
Like, look,
You can't play a half cut card. I don't care what you say. No, that's not a thing you do. I don't care what your argument for how that works is. No, I can't sell it. No one's gonna buy a half cut Hydra card. I have half of a card. I have more than 0 cards. But I essentially have 0 cards because I can't do shit.
Essentially.
I can't pull shit. Quantifiably, my card means nothing, does nothing, has nothing, works in
Is
no way.
something.
It
Is
it exists,
something.
but it has nothing. It is nothing.
The
Therefore,
Toyota,
it
the
equals
Toyota truck,
nothing.
the Toyota Truck 2 exists.
The who?
The Toyota Truck 2,
Should I
or
look
the
this up?
Lamborghini, yeah, the Toyota Truck 2, built in 1935. I'm pretty sure, somewhere around there. I'm not that big of a car nerd, but the Toyota Truck 2 does not work. Look at that fucking rust bucket, Cars tractor looking head ass. Alright, you see that? That motherfucker does not run. But it exists,
It does
doesn't
exist.
it? You're looking at it exists. It doesn't work, you cannot sell it, you cannot do anything with it.
Okay.
Okay?
But think
It
about it like
doesn't
this.
work.
Okay, there's a
But
million of
it's
those cars
still,
that work. I mean, there's a million of
yeah,
those cars. There's a million of those cars in the world.
there's a million cars, yeah.
One person, let's say none of those cars work, except one.
Mhm.
One person is able to get their Toyota Truck 2 to work. Okay?
Yeah. Now, if we're going to put that proportionally back to the Magic the Gathering card, you're saying if all the Magic the Gathering cards in the world got cut in half, and one person was able to find a Hydra Growth card and got it to play, would that make it worth any more? Would it make it worth any less?
No. We're
No.
saying one card is cut. It does nothing to affect anything, therefore, it means nothing. It is
How
nothing.
long have we been recording?
About an hour and a half, and over 40 minutes of it has been this argument.
Yeah. Because 0 is 0.
You're right, but 0 can be bigger than
Unclean.
0.
Zigger? What slur did you just call me? 0 is 0. 0 cannot be bigger, less, greater than, less than, alligator this way, alligator that way. It cannot be anything different.
Alligator this way, alligator that way.
Alright, 0 is parallel equal to 0. Every time. Okay?
You're right.
How
0 equals 0. Even when
Yes.
0 is greater than 0, it equals 0.
when 0
It is
when
equal to. It
zero-
is equal to
when-
or greater than.
when 0 is bigger than when 0 is bigger than 0, 0 equals 0.
It is
0,
greater than or equal
this 0
to.
is bigger than 0, but this 0 is also the exact same size as 0.
It is greater than
There-
or equal to.
What about less than?
Well, then that's just flipping the equation. I'm talking about
No,
quantifying
0 can
0.
be
I'm talking about quantifying 0 as bigger than 0, not 0 being smaller than 0. 0 being smaller than 0 can't be smaller than 0.
0 is only and ever going to be equal to 0.
No, you're right.
I don't know. I don't know if you're arguing with me just for content for the podcast, or if you genuinely believe this. But either way, you're retarded.
No,
0
0 can be greater than 0.
No, it can't. We are rounding. We're taking 16,000 files and comparing it to 100%.
You're right.
Proportionately.
Proportionately, 0 is greater than 0.
No, because the computer rounds. When you're taking 16,000 files and you do the first 5, like I've said, right, 0 is obviously not going to fill up the screens with 0. We've been over this.
You're right.
It's just going to keep saying 0 because there is not enough files to warrant going all the way up to 1% until there's like 400 files. It's not that it's not going to 1 because there's basically no files. There are still files. The computer is very aware that there are files. Okay, but it's just saving screen space by not going up to 1. Because that would be rounding disproportionately.
Are you done?
Yes.
Okay. No. If I were to give you 0.1 billion zeros, and then a 1, and asked you to put it into a fraction, what fraction are you going to put it into?
1 over 1 times 10 to the negative 16. That. 1 over 1 times 10 to the negative 16. That's what fraction I'm putting as. I am quantifying the 1 billion zeros, adding 2 more
Okay.
zeros because
If I
we're
were to
going
give that
from
number to a normal person who actually existed in the real world.
I exist in the real world.
No, you don't. That argument you just use proves you don't. Because even
Okay.
my nerd ass wouldn't use that argument. If I were to give that number to a normal person, what fraction do you think they're going to put it as? 0
An
over pretty much
incorrect-
anything.
An incorrect fraction. All right? You cannot use a random civilian to prove your point. You need to get experts, all right? If I'm in court, I swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, and the whole truth, right? For my first witness, Joe Schmo, can you tell me why cancer will never be solved? And he says, because there are a lot of white blood cells. Okay? Everyone knows this. But like, if you're going to talk with my dad, who's a trucker, about quantum physics, his ass is going to give you no information or incorrect information. Why? Because he doesn't know anything on the topic. To prove your argument, you have to use credible sources. This is why they don't let you use Wikipedia, because apparently it's an incredible source. Because regular people who aren't experts, can change it.
But the cards.
Okay, let's go back to the cards. Okay, you were saying that if you have, let me get my card. Give me a sec. All right. If I were to have this low punny, is just the first card in my deck, right? What can this low punny do on its own?
Nothing. Dog
Nothing,
shit.
because it doesn't have normal energy cards. All right, but there's still a bunny with thick thighs on this card. There's still a low punny. Okay? If I were to fold this card in half, I'm not going to because it's rapid strike. But if I were to fold the card in half.
Will you be mad at me?
Yes, I will actually murder you. Okay? If I were to take the slow punny, now to rip it in half. Alright? Yeah, it can't do anything, but matter cannot be created nor destroyed. This card still exists in space and time.
Yes.
Right? It still
But in relation
exists.
to the Pokemon card game or Pokemon trading cards, which it's both of, it is nothing.
No, it is dysfunction. All right. A sped kid in relation to regular kids, according to your argument, means it is nothing.
No, because I mean, well, okay. What syndrome are we talking about here?
We'll talk about Down. Well, no.
Because people with Down syndrome can lead normally functional lives. They are something.
We'll talk with autism, right? All right, when the chromosomes cannot communicate.
Okay, I know plenty of people with autism that can lead normal lives. So therefore, your argument is invalid.
All right, let me rephrase. Soldier in Iran gets his legs blown off.
Okay.
He is cut in half like a Pokemon card that I could cut in half. Okay? Is that person not a person anymore? In the grand scheme of people with both of their legs, that person is still a person.
Yes.
Yes.
Because people aren't quantified by their limbs. People are born without limbs all the time. That doesn't make them less of a person. People are born with extra limbs very rarely. That doesn't make them less of a person.
Mix them more.
Exactly. Greater than zero.
No, that greater than zero, my ass. That means that people equals zero. People don't matter, and the only people that matter are the motherfuckers with an arm on their chest.
Exactly. Those are the kind of girls I want to choke.
We're getting off topic. Zero is always zero. Okay? The only argument that you have had to quantify your argument, to prove your argument, is rounding. Because using
Okay, then
this,
prove your argument.
that zero is always zero?
Yeah, prove it.
Zero is nothing.
Prove it.
Okay. Zero and nothing are the same.
Prove it.
Would you agree? Oh,
Oh, are you
would
asking
you
me if
agree?
I agree?
We're going to do a proof. We're going to do a simple geometric algebraic proof. Would you assume? Would it be logical to assume, even say, that zero and nothing are synonyms?
Okay, because synonyms doesn't mean they're directly the same, then yes.
Zero and nothing are synonyms. That means that zero and nothing can be used interchangeably. Right now,
Not necessarily true.
what do you
Not
mean?
all
Give
synonyms
me-
are interchangeable.
Most of them are.
But not all the
We
time.
will get English always has exceptions. English always has exceptions. Every single rule has an exception. All right, I before E, except after those 72 words, like science. Okay, you know. All right, I before E, except after C. Science. All right, English has examples. Synonyms can be used interchangeably. If you look up the definition of synonyms, it'll say something like that. That synonyms are two words that can be used interchangeably.
Synonyms are two words that have similar meanings.
Mm-hmm. So
That doesn't equal interchangeability.
I have 0 monster cans on me, right? This is facts. My hands are up here. I have 0 monster cans. And I also, the amount of not monster cans I have is nothing. No monster cans.
Right.
Okay.
That's
then,
with physical objects.
Okay, but now I have a monster can. As soon as you add something to nothing, it becomes something.
You're right.
Okay? That is why nothing will always equal nothing, because you can't do anything to nothing without making it something.
Okay.
Okay, that's my argument. That is my argument proof that nothing will always equal nothing, and nothing cannot be greater or less than nothing. Your argument only deals with progress bars.
My argument deals with numbers that are greatly huge and small in relation to each other.
Because you're rounded. Because in the grand scheme of the 131 billion people that have ever walked this earth, I am basically nothing. Okay? That's a depressed argument. You are something.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
You're a teenage prodigy.
Do you say a teenage prodigy or the teenage prodigy?
The teenage prodigy. You are the big fat panda. Okay? Skadoosh, motherfucker. Alright? In the 131 billion people, everyone will have some sort of impact. Even though in the grand, there are 131 billion people. Alright, I am still me. I am still me. I am still a person. I exist. I collide with other objects. Right? I can spin this chair because I exist. Right? But in 131 billion people, your argument that one is basically nothing. Right? 0.0000000 billion zeros. All right, if I were to take a single strand of DNA from my hair that's on my fingers, right? A single strand of DNA. That's still something. All right, we can clone babies out of a single strand of DNA. You're just wrong.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yes. I have to piss, but I'm not pissing until until you think about your actions, all right? If 0 can sometimes be greater than 0, how does that make sense? It doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Because, no, it doesn't. All of your arguments hinder on rounding.
But rounding is also mathematical.
Yeah. Okay, but when you round, you change the value of the number for simplicity's sake. You don't, or you change it. 3.14 is equal to 3 sometimes, or 9.81 is equal to 9.8.
We
So
round
like
up
gravity.
pi all the time in math. We round up pi. Like, I'm not even talking about like in personal math, but I mean like even in science, they round up pi to deal with equations. If you can
Yeah,
round pi, which is one of the most important numbers to really exist, like in terms of,
it's not a number, it's a value.
you know what I mean.
Synonyms.
You're right. Those two are synonyms. Those two are
Numbers and
interchangeable.
values are not synonyms. Numbers and values are not synonyms in the slightest. A number gives me a value that can ever be the answer to a question. Give me
X.
X. Oh, that's just a value. That's not the answer to a problem.
Yeah, it is.
Because X can change. All right, X can be 3, X can be 5, X can be 44 million.
But it's
X can
still,
be 1.
but it still comes to a number, doesn't it?
Yeah, because the value is tied to a number. Okay, X is a variable, which is just a placeholder for a number. A value is infinity. A value is pi. Okay, so give me an algebraic question with the answer of pi.
Yeah, because I didn't know what your TikTok was.
One sec. Okay. An algebraic question.
Mm-hmm. With pi not in the question, but the answer.
Wait, are you guys in the finals? Oh, you guys aren't.
Okay. SIN to
Then,
-1 parentheses 1. What does that equal?
all right. So sin -1 parentheses 1, correct?
Mhm.
That was so funny.
Let me share my screen.
Yeah.
This is what you're saying? Sin -1 parentheses 1.
Yeah, I mean the
Why did
-1 should be 2
What?
power of though.
Because you wanted to. And I was like,
Sin -1 to the power of 1, or sin
Sin to the power of -1.
sin to the power of -1 times 1.
Mhm.
1.5. Is that pi?
stay. That's
Does pi equal 1.57?
No.
No.
But do you know
No,
do you
it
know what
doesn't.
1.57 times 2 is?
Okay, let's take this times 2. Whoa, no way, it's pi. So if we were to take this times 2, why? See, now it's not giving me a coherent answer. Isn't sine?
All right,
Isn't
all right, all right,
sin?
all right.
Sine is also a
2
value.
2
2, 2,
2 SIN parentheses x
parentheses x.
plus, nope,
Oh,
plus
plus
square root of 3.
square root of 3. I forgot how to put square root on keyboard. There. Wait. All right, we'll just do algebra calculator. 2. Can I add sin here? No, I can't. College level math calculator. Online. Scientific calculator. All right. So what was your argument? 2 sin
X
x parenthesis
plus
plus
the square root of 3.
square root of 3 equals nothing. Try defining x. What does x equal?
Give it a value.
Any value.
Now make it 2. Eventually, it will equal pi. I promise you.
Yo, he got hit on. I swear, I hit the sexiest shots and they somehow get blocked.
1 2 1 4 6. It skips right over pi dog.
Yeah, there's a decimal. I'm sure that would make it equal pi.
Oh, okay. So yeah, just using infinity. Do you want to go searching through infinity for pi?
Sure, why not? Let's play this game.
Sine is a value.
Sine is a value.
But we 44.5. 3.15. 8. 1413. 14125. 75. 76. 79. 141. No. It skips right over.
It comes up eventually. I promise you.
This is 44.799.
You're right.
Okay, this is
Now
the
add in another.
closest value. This is the closest value to 44.8. 1.142. All right, we can.
Well,
Dog.
you can add a million nines and it will never change.
Right here, I'll be goalie.
That's not proving your point at all.
Yes, it is. You're saying that somewhere in this value, 1.145
Yes. Eventually,
exists.
you will come to 3.14159265.4.
Okay, it's 1.14. 1.14159265357. But I digress. This right here is the closest value possible to 44.8 in the equation. 3.14131. We need to get to 1.1415. We need this 3 to become a 5. If we go to 44.8,
It goes over it.
1413. 44.9. Okay, it does not.
It will if you look deep enough. If you look deep
Okay,
enough, eventually
44.8. 1.1413. Okay,
now 8.1 or 8.82, 0.83, 0.84, 0.85.
we'll just go 9. It won't.
You just
It
jumped
won't
over
be-
pi though.
1.143.
You're not proving your point. The way you're trying to do this is not proving it.
Okay, 1.141. We need this to become 5. 1.1413. 8, 5, 8. 3.1415. Now we just have to add 3.14159.
Bro, I am 1v4 these fools.
9. Then we have to go. Okay. We're getting off topic.
But you did get to 3.14159.
All right. I'll give you that. You use the value to get a value. You use sign. But we're getting off topic. 0 will only equal 0. Do you want to call it here and let the audience decide?
No.
All right. Audience members in the chat. All right. Audience members listening to this podcast on Spotify Premium. This is a direct call. All right. After both of these arguments, after you heard both of them for the what? Almost 2 hours now, maybe a little more. Who do you agree with? Email your take to the business email on our website at Teenage Productions. I don't know. All right. There's a business email there. I'm really just paraphrasing. I've used so much brain power. I'm sure Santiago can tell you more. But
Listen.
give a business email, get a business email, and email him. Is 0 equal to 0, or can 0 sometimes be greater than 0?
And these schedules and stuff.
Your turn.
My turn. Is it? Do I get to make an argument, or are we done?
Let me get to it.
If you want to have the case closer of an argument, you can.
My case closer was written by ChatGPT. I put in all of my arguments throughout this entire thing, and I had it write a summary to prove my point. Right?
How about we just ask ChatGPT?
No, I already asked
Oh, wait.
ChatGPT. ChatGPT said I'm a dumbass. Because this whole thing, this was a whole bit. I hope you know that. This was all a bit. For you to stay.
I called you. I called you out on this. I hope that you're not arguing this for content, or if you genuinely believe this. But either way, you're retarded. I'm done with you. I love you. Fuck you.
The whole no,